guys, and welcome to this week's video. Now, last week was World Suicide Prevention Day and we got involved and it went really well. I posted a video on here and reposted when I talked about my suicide attempt a few years ago, and it went really well. And I love to get involved in any day where it's dedicated to mental health and raising awareness, but I do often struggle with that particular day, the suicide day, because suicide is such a sore topic for me because of what I went through, and that day is all about talking about those feelings and sort of hearing other people's stories and airing out my own. It brings back a lot of feelings. You know, I re-watched that video that I filmed when I talked about my attempt, and it was like I was back there again. All those feelings, all those emotions just bubbled up inside of me, and it was quite scary. You know, I know that it is good to talk, and I have talked about my suicide attempt many times to doctors, to therapists. You know, in therapy I often talk about it because it was a big thing that I did, but there's something just, it's one of those things, you know, you don't keep picking an old wound because it'll never heal. And on that day it just felt like it just wouldn't, that wound was just never healing, and it just felt like it'd been ripped open all over again. So I did find it extremely hard this week to sort of turn off those feelings and not relive all those emotions, and I still am down today. I'm still finding it very, very tough because it just reminded me of who I was, what place I was in, why I have still got some of those feelings I had back then. Why am I still struggling with them now? It just makes you relive it all, and it's just a very hard topic to deal with in general. That's why a lot of people don't talk about it, is because it's such a sensitive, sore topic for people who have gone through it, and for people who don't really understand why people do it. It's a sore subject on both sides. That's why we have days like World Suicide Prevention Day, to let people know that they're not alone and to also raise awareness. But it doesn't mean it's easy. It's been years since I attempted, and I filmed that video I think in 2014. So it's been years since I filmed that video. Watching it back and having all those emotions felt again, and just, it was hard to just turn them off and to just separate them from who I was to who I am now, and see that some of those feelings still exist today. And it made me very thoughtful and just very painful experience. It is good to talk. I don't want to send that message that it isn't. It is good to talk. I do talk about it in therapy, and you know, often those sessions I have talked about in therapy, I do struggle with it because it is a sore topic. It is a very painful part, and even now it's still, like, it eats me up inside, because that is something that I went through. A very, very dark moment in time where I did something that drastic. So that's always going to sort of haunt me a little bit, and always going to be there for me. And whenever I talk about it, it just brings up a lot of painful memories. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it at all, because the more you talk about it, the more you understand it, the more you sort of realise what feelings you were feeling, and the more you realise and you come to the conclusions of other ways you can solve it. So hopefully this dark weight of suicidalness will be lifted by this time next week. So I will see you guys next week. Bye guys.